today I want to talk about frugal living tips that can help save you money and actually aren't that difficult to implement. So I am definitely not a frugal person. I'm not a minimalistic person, but I have watched so many videos and learned so much from the people that are frugal that I've adopted a lot of their living tips just kind of naturally after hearing them. And those have helped us so much in cutting back our budget and improving the amount of money that we have to spend on the things we actually care about. So I found that frugal living tips are really just ways to cut back what you're spending on stuff that doesn't really matter to you so that you can spend on the things that do matter. And that has really helped me look at frugal living as a thing that I can and do want to do. So today I'm going to share some of the frugal living tips that I've learned, and hopefully they are things that you can implement in your own life. Every tip might not be for you, so look at all the different ones and kind of evaluate what might fit in your life. I am all about using money to create the life that you want, and being frugal is one of the ways that you can do that. So one of the first tips is to use apps like Ibotta and Fetch Rewards so that when you are spending money at the grocery store, you're getting a return on that money. What you do with these apps is you just scan your receipt, and when you purchase certain items, you get a kickback from the manufacturer through either Ibotta or Fetch Rewards, and you also get a smaller kickback from those app companies because you're sharing your data with them. They then use that data for their own purposes, so you are giving up some of your privacy, but you're getting something in return, and that is something that we found to earn gift cards for other things that we want to do. So using those apps when we're shopping at grocery stores allows us to then get gift cards that we can use either at stores or restaurants for things that we really want but probably wouldn't buy otherwise. One great frugal tip is to use your public library. One thing about public libraries that I really didn't know until last year is that you can also get ebooks through your public library. You can save the $10 on Amazon that you would have paid for an ebook by getting it through your public library. A lot of them use Overdrive, and that is an app that you can read the book on, and then when you're done, it goes back to the library. It's literally like renting it like a regular book, and that gives you the option to check it out, give it back, and then move along to another book. I really didn't know this about public libraries until kind of recently, but it's really a great option if you are an ebook reader and you want to save some money. You don't even have to go to the library anymore, which is kind of great considering some of the recent events in life. One frugal tip is to use a programmable thermostat and to take your temperature a little bit higher in the summer and a little bit lower in the winter so that you're saving money on your utility bill. This is something that we've done really well with in the past year. We wanted to keep our utility bill around $200. We did do really well keeping our money spent on utilities quite low for our house and location. Adjusting the temperature higher when we're not there and our dogs don't care has been really great for our bill. So I highly recommend you get a programmable thermostat, and if you don't have one, just be really intentional about the temperature that you're setting it at whenever you're there and whenever you're not. Another frugal tip is to plan all of your meals. So meal planning is something that a lot of us that are more on the impulsive side don't necessarily like to do, but having a meal plan and having those meal options, especially planning meals that are frozen, that don't take a lot of time, so you have backup options in case you don't really want the meal that you planned that night, is so crucial to having a better budget, and it's a great frugal living tip. Planning to actually use all of the things that you bought at a grocery store will save you money, and it is also a lot better for both the environment and yourself. Another tip I've really learned from people online is to actually prep your food as soon as you get it. So instead of throwing everything in the fridge immediately when it comes home, take all your veggies, chop them up immediately, put them in containers, get everything ready so that it's like ready to cook immediately once you are ready to make that meal. One frugal living tip that I didn't really take seriously until the last couple months is to make your own cleaning products. This is actually much better generally for the environment and for you, and cleaning with stuff like vinegar is actually a really effective way to clean, and it's something that both my mom and the cleaner at work both use, so I trust their opinion, and it's very effective. It does make your house smell a little bit, different for a while, but doing things like that is so much cheaper than buying the very chemical laden cleaners and products that you can get in the store that cost a lot of money. And reducing the number and types of products you're using will also save you money. So this is a great frugal way to clean and make sure everything is safe and sanitary, but you are spending less money. Another frugal living tip is to find free entertainment near you. It's totally fine to spend money on going to movies or going out to concerts and things like that if you really value those experiences. But if you're kind of on the fence and you know you want to be more frugal and save money on your entertainment, then look around your area for free things to do. We actually have a couple different websites here that publish free things you can do every single week in our city. And those are a great resource to find out new and different things that don't cost any money, but are actually really fun. There's a lot of different places that will offer a free night or a free experience. And if you're not looking for them, you don't necessarily know they exist. So just being on the lookout for free entertainment and being available to those opportunities is a great frugal way to both have fun and find new fun experiences. A frugal living tip that you probably haven't thought of is setting boundaries and saying no. Y'all, this has been a very hard thing for me to personally do, but it's been very, 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 very helpful in my life. So we have a huge family and we have a lot of friends, and we are often invited to more things than we probably should say yes to. So setting boundaries, especially on our time and our money, has helped us to be more frugal, both in the amount of money we're spending going to all of these events that we're invited to, and to our time, which is valuable. Your time is one of the most precious resources that you have. Deciding your own boundaries and your own budget before you are saying yes or no to events and invitations is a really frugal way to approach life and your community. You might have some pushback in the beginning, but if you are starting to say no to things that don't fit your budget or your life priorities, that's okay, and that's a good thing, and that is something that will really both save you money and protect your time and energy in the long run. Another frugal living tip is to do grocery store pickup instead of going into stores. I'm an impulsive spender, so if I go into a grocery store, I am likely to come out of the store with items I did not plan for. Even if I have a list, if something catches my eye, I tend to add it. However, if I do grocery store pickup and I do my list when I am at home and I'm thinking about it and I'm really sticking to the budget, that is so much better for us than sending me to a store or sending my husband multiple times a week to a store because we forgot this or he forgot that. And doing a grocery store pickup does not take that much extra time. It's actually really effective, and some stores do it for free. We use Walmart very often, so we'll do a Walmart pickup, which is free over $30. Grocery store pickup limits those impulsive buys, allows you to be more frugal by focusing on the price and making sure that everything fits within your budget, and it fits within the meal plan that you created. Speaking of frugal living tip, just stay out of stores if you're an overspender. I am an overspender. I like to buy pretty things. I like to spend too much money. I grew up having shopping as a hobby, even clearance shopping. It was something that I enjoyed to do. Just adding to the pile, hoarding. I think hoarding is maybe like a family tendency that I'm trying to break. So I just stay out of stores. And honestly, that's been kind of hard for me because that is a hobby I had to replace with YouTube videos. So I do not go to stores any longer. And that has actually really, really helped our budget, because I used to have a shopping category that I would spend every single month and I love to do, but I've cut that out of our budget and I really don't miss it as much as I thought I would. So maybe I'm a little more frugal than I thought, but if you are looking for a way to cut back your budget and you want to be more frugal, just don't go to stores. Look for other ways to entertain yourself that are free or very inexpensive. On that same line of thought, don't go to bulk stores every single week. Go once a month. There are a lot of channels here online that will show you how to bulk grocery shop and bulk make your meals or shop once a month for all your food. And I highly recommend that you only go to stores like Costco once a month. That is a frugal living tip that has really paid off for us, because we would go to these stores more often and then we were overbuying because it was such a good deal and we wanted it, and you're buying so much And it feels maybe frugal in the beginning, but when you don't use it all and then you have way too much stuff, it ends up backfiring in the long run. So going once a month or less frequently than you do now is a great way to save money and to cut back on what you're actually spending in those bulk grocery stores. Okay, so for now, a couple of mindset type frugal living hacks. One is to practice gratitude. When you practice gratitude and you're thankful for the things that you already have, you're going to focus less on what you don't have or need to buy to complete yourself or complete your room or complete whatever that you're trying to fulfill. You lose some of that wanting to fill all the gaps because there aren't as many gaps when you're focused on gratitude and being grateful for what you already have. Our culture doesn't really encourage contentment because we're always focused on the next biggest, best, like amazing thing. And we have to go from here to here and here, and there's always more and you need more. But practicing gratitude and being grateful for what you already have will slow that urge down. Practicing gratitude is not only a frugal habit, but it's a very healthy habit, and it is a spiritual habit as well. So highly recommend that you try to find ways to practice gratitude. Another kind of mindset thing is to take care of the things that you already own. When you buy quality items, even if they're more expensive up front and then you take care of them in the long run, it tends to save you money overall. Being gentle with your clothing, repairing things when it has a problem, these are ways that you can actually extend the lifespan of what you've bought and make the thing that you bought last longer and save you more money. Having to replace things more often will cost you a lot more money, so being frugal means taking care of the stuff you actually have and treating it respectfully so it will last as long as possible so you're not replacing things so frequently. This is something that personally I've struggled with and am trying to be better about. My husband is much better about this than me. He will buy really high quality expensive items up front, and then he will do things like get his shoes repaired or resold. And that's not really something I've ever thought of because I'm very much the fast fashion, buy cheap things and get rid of them. But honestly, he ends up being the more frugal because he has things that he's kept for years and he just takes really good care of them, and that price goes down over time. So he's very frugal in that respect, and that's something that I've learned over time to do as well. Okay, and the final mindset frugal habit is to change your mindset about money overall. This is what I was talking about in the beginning, but changing your mindset from thinking frugal means being cheap to thinking about frugal as a way to maximize your spending on the things that you care about and then to maximize the use of those things. So basically, you're just trying to be very intentional and trying to get the most use out of everything that you do actually pay for. This is a very different mindset, as I said, from the majority of us Americans, especially because we are very much on the fast fashion, use it and get rid of it type mindset. But having a frugal mindset is really great because you are able to buy really more expensive quality items, but you don't buy as many and you don't buy them as often and you take care of them so they last longer, and that does pay off in the long run. So I highly recommend changing your mindset and trying to think of being frugal in a way that's not like cheap, but you're being very careful and intentional with your money.